Good evening. Welcome to the Horror Metal channel. I'm still obsessed with making lists, so here's yet another one. This is going to be my top 10 thrash metal albums. Yeah, I figured I would go ahead and do that. So, let's go ahead and get started. Number 10, Under the Influence by Overkill. Oh yeah. Bobby Blitz is one of my favorite thrash metal vocalists of all time. I think he has an awesome metal voice, and here is no exception. They have great songs like Shred, Never Say Never, Hello from the Gutter, Mad Gone World, Brain Fade, Drunken Wisdom, Into the Line. Great album, and it's my favorite Overkill album, obviously. Check it out. It's pretty good. Number 9, Arise by Sepultura. I love Sepultura, and it's a really hard choice between this and Chaos AD, and Beneath the Remains, for that matter. Yeah. Max Cavalera is awesome. He has a great thrash voice as well. And Andreas Kisser, his riffs and solos are immaculate. And of course, Igor Cavalera's drumming. It's nothing short of breathtaking. Great album. Definitely check it out. My favorite tracks are Dead Embryonic Cells, Desperate Cry, Altered State, and Infected Voice. And I love their cover of Orgasmatron by Motorhead. That's on here as well. Yeah, it just slays. Number 8, Release from Agony by Destruction. It was hard choice between this and Eternal Devastation, their debut. And I really love the Mad Butcher EP as well. But I think this is probably my favorite. How about that artwork, huh? Yeah, very unique. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, but hey, whatever. It's pretty cool though, nonetheless. Schmier on bass and vocals is on point here. He has a great thrash voice as well, as do all these guys. And yeah, just a great album. We got Beyond Eternity, the title track, Dissatisfied Existence, Sign of Fear, Unconscious Ruins. Just a few of my favorite tracks. Go ahead and spin this record. It's really thrashy, really aggressive, really awesome. Next we got Pleasure to Kill by Creator. Oh yeah, it's violent as hell. I just love it. It's violent and destructive. Millie Petroza on guitar and vocals. He's yet another fellow who has a great thrash voice. And of course, Jurgen Reel, aka Venter, on drums. And he does the vocals on Riot of Violence. On the first album, they kind of shared vocal duties, and he kind of sang less and less on each album until Millie Petroza became the sole vocalist. But Reel still sings, Venter still sings a few songs live when they play. So it's pretty cool. But very talented guys. Some of my favorite songs are Choir of the Damned, Ripping Corpse, yes! Death of Your Savior, the title track, Riot of Violence, as I mentioned, where Venter sings on, The Pestilence, and Command of the Blade. He's got a few bonus tracks as well on this release, so definitely get this version if you're going to buy this album, for sure. Number 6, The New Order by Testament. Now, I already reviewed this album on my channel, so I won't say a whole lot, but I will mention my favorite songs are Eerie Inhabitants, the title track, Trial by Fire, Into the Pit, yes. Disciples of the Watch, The Preacher. The Preacher is my favorite song of the album, by far. I love that high-pitched scream that Chuck Billy does. Follow Preacher! Oh yeah, it's awesome. Chuck Billy's one of my second favorite thrash metal vocalists, next to Joe Belladonna from Anthrax. And Alex Skolnick is one of my favorite guitarists of all time. His riffs and solos are just breathtaking, to say the least. Heavy as hell riffs. Just breathtaking solos. It just blows me away every time I hear it. So yeah, Testament is my favorite album of them. Check it out. Number 5, Could Only Be Bonded by Blood by Exodus. This is my favorite Exodus album. And it was the only studio release with Paul Bailoff on vocals. Paul Bailoff was just the incarnation of thrash metal. The guy lived, breathed, and slept metal. He just, and he was not a poser at all. Far from it. He was the polar opposite of. And he would call people out on stage, dude. Say, that guy's not metal enough. Get him out of here. He was just awesome. And Gary Holt's one of my favorite guitarists of all time. And, of course, he was with Slayer briefly, filling in for Jeff Hanneman, rest in peace. And it's pretty much his band, Exodus is, for sure. Tom Hunting's a great drummer as well. And, of course, Rick Hunold on second to guitar is really good. Yeah, this has some of my favorite riffs. It's really, really riff thrashy. We got the title track, which is my favorite song on the album. Exodus, which is the name of the song. And then There Were None, great song. A Lesson in Violence. Piranha, my second favorite song on the album. I just love that track. It's a really rockin' tune. Deliver Us to Evil, Strike of the Beast, and then There Were None. Oh yeah, gotta love it. So many great tracks. It's a perfect album front to back. Perfect thrash anthems found on this masterpiece, or thrashterpiece. Yeah, there they are. There's good old Paul, rest in peace. The world of metal will never be the same without him. Alright, number 4. Getting down to the top 4. Can only be Spreading the Disease by Anthrax. Joey Belladonna is my favorite thrash metal vocalist. And I think his voice was the best on this album. And, of course, the riffs and solos by Dan Spitz and Scott Ian are on point, as is the bass playing and by Frank Bello and drumming by Charlie Benante. They make up a perfectly adequate rhythm section. We got AIR, Lone Justice, Madhouse, The Enemy, which is probably my favorite song on the album, Aftershock, Armed and Dangerous, and Medusa. Love it. My favorite Anthrax record for good reason. Scott Ian and company really were on point with this album. It was an improvement over Fistful of Metal, even though I love that album too, don't get me wrong. Number 3. A really obvious choice, but it's obvious for a reason. Rust in Peace by Megadeth. I already talked about this on my top 10 favorite metal albums video, so I won't go into too much detail. I'll just mention that Dave Mustaine and company were on point here. This is the first album featuring Mighty Freeman and Nick Menza, who made it my favorite lineup in the band. They, along with Mustaine and David Ellefson, were just awesome together. They had a lot of charisma, a lot of great chemistry together. I wish they would have done more. I wish they would have done even more than they did, because they were just unstoppable. Anyway, we got Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, Hangar 18, Take Their Prisoners, Five Magics, Tornado of Souls, and Rest in Peace, Polaris. Oh yeah, and some bonus tracks too, so this is the release to have if you want this on CD. Oh yeah, Rest in Peace to Megadeth. I won't say anymore because I already covered it on my top 10 metal albums. Same with my number 2 choice, Rain and Blood by Slayer. Another obvious choice, but obvious for a reason. Yeah, Kerry King, Jeff Hanneman, Tom Araya, and Dave Lombardo, the masterminds behind this hellish recording. It's the soundtrack of hell. It was really a hard choice between this, Show No Mercy, and Hell Awaits for my favorite Slayer album, but I think I went with this one. This album really grabs me. It might be their heaviest, quite possibly, and the most evil sounding, for sure. Gotta love it. All Hell Slayer. Before we get to the number 1 choice, which might be another one I already mentioned in my top 10 metal albums video, I should have done a traditional heavy metal video, or maybe power metal or something. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to some honorable mentions. We got 2 Megatherion by Celtic Frost. I think it's thrashy enough to be considered thrash metal. They've been called speed metal, black metal, even death metal, everything under the sun. I think it's thrashy enough. Rest in Peace, Martin Ergain. Yeah, I love Celtic Frost, and this is my favorite album by them. Act 3 by Death Angel. Hell yeah. Good stuff. Alice in Hell by Annihilator. Agent Orange by Sodom. Darkness Descends by Dark Angel. And Swallowed in Black by Sadus. All great albums. Definitely highly recommend you check them out if you haven't already. And my number 1 choice, isn't it obvious? Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Metallica truly was the best thrash metal band at one point. Strange how now they're not really thrash metal anymore, even though they did kind of make a comeback. They kind of made a return to form with Death Magnetic and Hardwired, but they couldn't capture the magic that was their first 3 albums. They couldn't recapture that magic. But Ride the Lightning is unforgettable. It's a masterpiece. Got Fight Fire with Fire, the title track, my favorite song on the album. For Whom the Bell Tolls, of course. Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice, Escape, Creeping Death, and Call of Cthulhu. Great instrumental. James Hetfield, Kirk Hammett, Cliff Burton, and Lars Ulrich all did a great job in making this thrash masterpiece. This should be an any Metalheads collection, and it probably already is, because it's a very, very obvious choice. Very, very, very well known. Hell, the vinyl record is really easy to find. You can find it at Walmart or Target, and that's how popular this album is. But it's popular for a reason. I'm not going to sit here and just name a bunch of underground indie stuff that nobody's ever heard of, because I don't do that. Sorry. But yeah, Master of Puppets. Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Ugh, getting tongue-tied. Check it out. Chances are you already have, because it's insanely popular and very well known. But not as much as Black Album. So there's that. Alright, guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching the Horror Metal channel. I think that about covers it. So until next time. Take care.